Hello everybody, this is Teresa with Keep in Touch Crafts, and I am in Oak Grove, Minnesota, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Welcome, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Hope you're having a great week and a good Thursday. What is the date today? June 3rd, 2021. So welcome to anybody who is watching live. And also welcome if you are watching later on for the replay or on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining in and being with me through this. I'm going to be showing you a few things from that some of the activities or happenings in the Stampin' Up! World here. And then I'm going to be showing you a couple of projects to try. And hopefully you'll find it interesting and helpful. Tonight's project is going to have limited amounts of needed supplies. So this one is going to be basically just using hopefully things you have, and a download too that Stampin' Up! Is offering for free. It's going to be around, I think, for about a year. So you'll be able to use this whenever you want some kind of images or some sentiments that are of the nature that I'll be showing you. So I'll just show you that in a little bit. But regardless, thank you for tuning in, and I suppose we can get right down to business here. As always, if you need anything, have any questions, you need a demonstrator, need to shop at all for products, feel free to go to my store. Or let me know if you do have any questions or comments too. Feel free to leave that and to share and spread the love. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to switch the cameras here. All right, so here we are. I am showing you just a flyer here. Just a reminder, this is a current promotion going on that is until June 14th. And what this basically is saying, if you place an order yourself or have like a party or anything, and anything over like $250 is going to give you additional Stampin' Rewards. So you always do get bonuses if you are the host. You get like this kind of shows you, I don't know, I'm going to just zoom it in just so you know. If you ever want to have a gathering, and it can be virtual, it can be with kits to make it easy, whatever. But if it's something you're ever interested in, it could be a birthday party, the host gets rewards for that. And for example, let's say you had a combined party of maybe all the orders totaled $300. You would get to choose additional products. 12% of that $300 is the additional amount of free products that you'd be able to choose. But now they're offering an extra $25 above and beyond that amount. So you get other things that you can choose out of the catalog that would be above and beyond the typical rewards that you can earn. You can also, any party over $450 would also get an item out of the catalog that's 50% off. So anyways, just let me know if that's something you ever want to do, if you want to have a gathering or something. And another reminder is the paper pumpkin for June. Yes, for June. That's the month we're in now. It is going to be the alcohol ink look. I told you about this last time. It's called Make a Splash. You can create 9 cards. It comes with the envelopes as well. It has some new colors in it. You do get 2 different ink spots in it for your stamp set that comes in the kit. It's all inclusive, comes right to your home. Go to my store. If that's something you're interested in, contact me. I can help you out as well. That's not something. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I am going to show you some swaps, and you might be wondering, what is a swap? And I will show you. As a demonstrator, it's really fun to be a demonstrator because we have a lot of opportunity to create and learn from other people who are like-minded, who enjoy the same kind of a craft experience that I do. This is my hobby. This is what I love to do, and I love to be able to share that with people too. And um, I I remember going to my first Stampin' Up event, and I remember saying to the people around me, "I found my people." Of course, I'm not saying that above and beyond family or anything like that, but I found my like-minded people who like to do the same thing I do, and enjoy that creativity that stamping and card creating and paper crafting can bring. So, anyways, as a demonstrator, we have a lot of gatherings, and I happen to be on a team of people who are just fabulous, and it's a really nice size. We get to know each other, um, people from all over. So I am under a woman named Rachel, and she is a fabulous, very experienced demonstrator, and just got $1 million of career sales recently and was awarded, and she's in the top of the world. And the reason I bring that up is then we get to learn from her, and we all learn from one another. We don't compete against each other. It's like a gathering of people who enjoy the same types of things, and we share a lot together. And that's what is so fun about it. So, for example, one thing we do when there's a new catalog, or just every so often, we do swaps. And that means for example, I made 11 of the same card, and then a bunch of us pooled our things together, and so then I got 11 different cards from various people in our group, and then and then I gave mine to all of them. So you make one card, 11 of them, and then you get cards back, all of them unique, so that this gives us ideas of card layouts, of how to use various supplies, that kind of thing, and we have examples to show you, our customers, as well. So I got this one dirty, it looks like, so that's not good. A couple of these were birthday cards that I got as well. I came a little late, and I just wanted them to be acknowledged, the creators of that, and to thank them. So I have some birthday cards and some swaps. So I'm going to go through those. These are all current Stampin' Up! Products that you can find, and they are great ways of using these products that you can get in the catalog. So here is a birthday card that I got from Ashley Carlson. She's in our group, and it has this beautiful, that pink, black, and that deep green just works so beautifully together. And she wrote me a little note on the inside, and she decorated the inside as well. So that was so nice. Thank you, Ashley, for sending that. And I think there's another one in here. But anyways, these are the swaps. This one is from Sherry Stanley of Aurora, Colorado. And she made, this is the crushed ribbon that we have. And she made a card here that shows, it really features this designer series paper. And on the back, she's telling me that it's from the stamp set Beauty of Friendship. And then the DSP, the cardstock, is from Beauty of the Earth cardstock designer series paper set. And she has some little embellishments on here to make it really pretty and pop. You truly inspire me is the message that she put on here with our new punch. Thank you so much, Sherry. We have one from Luann Peterson here, and she made a beautiful card. Of course, I should have my catalog here so that I can easily just tell you all of these. Some of them they give it to me. This is a new suite of products that I've showed you even. It has a lot of the metallic in it, and this says True Love Stories Last Forever. So it'd be great for an anniversary or especially wedding. She used that beautiful foiled designer series paper, our black organdy glittery ribbon here. That's kind of a sheer, and there is a layer of vellum on there. And in order to stamp on foil like this, you do need to use, sorry, there's a glare. You do need to use, you have to use StazOn ink, and it still, isn't that a beautiful image? She did a really good job. It's kind of easy to smear when you're stamping onto the foil paper like that. So when you do, if you use Stays On ink, then you have a much better chance of it not smearing, and it'll just dry really quickly. Hi Susan, thanks for coming and for joining me tonight. I'm going through swaps here, as you might have seen from the beginning from my group recently. So this is a swap from Nancy Forsberg and her daughter Kayla Corey, and they have a mother-daughter duo team. And this is so beautiful. It's got that alcohol ink paper in it. It also, I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to try to show this. Is a this background is from a die that pokes these holes in it. It's like a stitched pattern. Can you see that at all? Probably not. I don't know if the light's catching it enough, but it does have a real beautiful background that's kind of just looks like pin poked almost. It's just stitched in there of greenery. And they use the Pale Papaya new ribbon that we have, and they have thanks on there. And look at how pretty this is too. This is the back side, so it shows both sides of your designer series paper. And it's just kind of one of those that's easy. You don't have to have a huge area to write on. So if you just kind of want a quick card and without having to write a book, this is a great way to go. So thank you to Nancy and Kayla. Somebody decided to start out with Christmas, and I thought, wow, that's a early, and it is, but this card is so gorgeous. This is from Amy Jo Rudd, and this is all current product in our new catalog here, and this is a beautiful card. She made a belly band to start with, and the belly band wraps all the way around. That's kind of what they do. And this is our new the darker, what's it called, Evening Evergreen, and she embossed that vellum with the shimmer vellum. She embossed that with, it looks like it must be a new set that's in our catalog. It's a new embossing folder that looks like pine kind of. And then she also took this the Evening Evergreen and embossed that as well. And this obviously says Noel. She has some little glimmer on there, as little glimmer gems. And then her actual fun fold is kind of like a gatefold, and it just opens like that. Isn't that just gorgeous? May your days be merry and bright with the holly on there. Such a beautiful card. Oh, thank you, Amy Jo. My goodness. Makes me want to actually start making Christmas cards, which I don't usually do this early, that's for sure. But I'm going to keep this one and save it for later because, wow, isn't that pretty? That shimmer vellum that we have is just gorgeous, and it shows that detail, and it's just such a beautiful card. Isn't that nice? All right, thanks, Amy Jo. And a good friend, Cheryl Lee, she made this cute whimsical card, and I don't know if you can see very well there. There we go. Hills are easier when you have a friend. She just has some green DSP here and made a little hill out of it. Stamped the bicycle with the set called Right Behind You. And she used the hand-penned DSP on there. Hammered metal 3D embossing folder. Oh, that must be what this little portion on here for the grass, the hill. And then on the inside, thanks for sharing the ride. Oh, that's so cute. And even the little details like on the pants, on their pants, she put Wink of Stella and made their pants all shiny and shimmery. So that was really cute. So that was from Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl. Beautiful. This one is gorgeous card from Paula Nicely, and it has Peaceful Moments and Happy Thoughts are the stamp sets, and the dies are from hand penned and stitched rectangles. Look at that. That beautiful, elegant look that you can get from black and white. I just think that's so pretty. This is a die that she cut out and from hand penned. And then these are those scalloped framed type of dies that we have. And then congratulations. So those dies were from hand penned and stitched rectangles. Okay, and then on the inside, she put another little image here that she had die cut out. And then today is great because it's all about you, the great person you are, the great things you do. That is so beautiful. She put some pearls on the flowers too. Just such a pretty card. Very elegant with the black and white look. I really like that. Kind of clean lines too. Next one. Thank you, Paula. That was from Paula. All right, this one is from Suzanne Bensley, and she is from New York. And she made a beautiful ink blended card. She used a new embossing folder that we have in our catalog. And I know I should be telling you all of these. I should have researched that ahead of time if it doesn't have it, and I don't think this one does. But she used some of our colors with our blender and just kind of blended it down, and that really makes that that popped up area, the embossed area, really pop. I'm trying to show you that there is some variation of the height, and that it's actually raised there. I don't know how well it shows. Very pretty. She used the new ribbon that we have in color as well. So I was going to try to quick find that embossing folder name, and I'm paging. Okay, so this one is a new one, and it is called Pretty Flowers. So this is a Pretty Flowers embossing folder, which I love embossing folders because they are inexpensive, $7.50 for that. And you've been on my mind. She really nicely decorated the inside as well. So thank you. Oh, that's so pretty, Suzanne. And what are we on to next? Okay, so now this one is a wow card, let me tell you. This is from Cynthia Howard in North Dakota. She, I think, made her own alcohol ink background using our re-inkers. She put some re-inkers onto an acrylic block and then used cotton balls, is my understanding, onto vellum to make this gorgeous, gorgeous, bright background paper. Isn't that just amazing? I just love that. And this is a new set that we have as well. So boy, does that look so pretty. It's that underwater look, and she has little fish here too. And she used the those gems. Oh goodness, the names are escaping me. Simply Elegant, or I'll find it. Anyways, that makes the little bubbles come up, so that's cute. Anything you have that's kind of shimmery, that can be the little bubbles. And I think she used and made, she used our heat and stick powder with our gilded leafing to make some random little gold things go through there. There's the coral made out of copper foil paper. Oh, and she decorated the inside too. Those little fish are embossed, and they're so cute. So gorgeous job by Cynthia Howard. If anybody wants any more information about a stamp set or an embossing folder or something, if you don't have a catalog, or if you want me to find it for you, let me know, because there's just so many beautiful names of all these products that I'm sure not getting to you. Unless I spend a bunch of time going through the catalog, which I don't know if you want me to, but okay, hand penned. Everybody has probably been seeing this. I know I've used it. I love this set. It is so springy looking, and this is from Lisa Marshall. And Lisa made this, and she gave me a little recipe card here of everything. So her designer series paper that she used was that hand penned, and the mint macaron. She wow, stitched so sweetly dies. And one thing that she did that I hadn't seen before is, you see this little hole here. She took a daisy punch and just used the end of, I want to show you my daisy punch so you know what I'm talking about. Hang on. We have two sizes, but if you use a daisy punch, she just used one of these very tips of these flower petals, and she made a little punched hole just on the spine here. I don't know if you can see that, and that made a spot for the ribbon. So the ribbon went through, here's the inside, and she just ran it through that inside flap and tied it, and then put the hand pinned layer over top of that so it goes all the way through. But it's just a cute way to tie that around then. Really like that, and that's a way to get it through here without having to go all the way. So beautiful job, Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. And here was another card that I had gotten as a birthday card from Carol Smith, and beautiful job on this one. A lot of green, and I like the little pop of color on that dragonfly. This is, we have a punch that makes a large dragonfly and a small dragonfly. Oh yes, so Susan, I see that you do have the hand penned paper. It's so beautiful, isn't it? You can do so much with that. And then, yeah, you did a paper share. Gorgeous. I've been wanting to do a paper share. The last time I did it, there wasn't quite enough interest. So if anybody ever does want paper, ribbon, you can do shares of, you know, a lot of new product that way. That way you get a little taste of everything, and you don't just have to buy a whole pack of something, and then you can decide later, oh yeah, I want that or not. Anyway, so here's the card from Carol Smith. Thank you, Carol, with the nice little dragonfly on there. Appreciate that. Now I'm going to show you my swap that I made for that same swap. This was what I had contributed to it, and this is using that that Inked Impressions paper, the DSP for that, and copper. Or, I'm sorry, not copper. The gold foil as well, and that's this is the pink ribbon that is the new pink, positively pink. No, polished pink ribbon. And then this is pale papaya layer under here, and I use the what is this green? This green is the Pear Pizzazz green. So this is a card that stands up. Now this is an extra one that I made for myself, and I just kept it because I made a little mistake. The one that I gave to other people, of course I hadn't trimmed off this part, but you can see how this type of a card stands up because of these little cutout areas, almost like a pop-up card has on the inside. And on the back here is where I would write my message, and just writing, you know, happy birthday. I stamped here in that Pear Pizzazz, and the pale papaya is the flower color there. And then on the front is where all the hoop-de-doo is, I guess. These side, you can see how it kind of, when you make it, that's kind of how you do that. And I just decorated these panels that kind of fold in a little bit. One thing I did that you might not be able to tell that easily is underneath this gold foil is a punched out area using the polished pink shimmer vellum. And what I did was I used the stamp set from the Inked Impressions, and I stamped using our Versamark, and then I used our heat and stick powder and our gilded leafing to make this layer on the back. And it's just real shimmery, but it's not like an all over even look to it. It's kind of more artsy and just kind of a little more random. And then it doesn't match up perfectly, and I did that, you know, it's intentional. It's just kind of that imperfect yet unique look to it, because each one was a little bit different. So hopefully you can kind of see how that looks. This is a die from that same set. I mean, that in itself and could just be a stunning front to a card. And then this designer series paper comes in that same alcohol ink look paper of Inked Impressions. So thank you. Yeah, sometime I can maybe put the instructions up sometime, Susan. It's really not tough. I mean, it's like most things where you just have to know the dimensions. So I think I used, what did I use? I used 5.5 by 8 1/4. And this is just going to be a quick run through, but looks like it's scored at 1, 2, and yeah, so 1 and 2, and then I guess I can't just tell you easily because it's like partially scored here, but not there. So yeah, 1, 2, and 3 from each side, from each edge. And then you just have to, like some of these, you're just cutting from 1 to 3 on each side. And then instead of having it fold normally like it would this direction, you could pop those this way. And that kind of adds in then that structure so that it can stand up. Okay, and then you can do this with like anything and decorate it however you'd like. I wanted it to fit in our standard envelope, so I did end up having to trim off a little bit of this layer of this scalloped edge die that I had used. And I think on my actual finished one, I had put some pearls on there and that kind of thing. This is just for my own records. I like to keep a copy and remember what I've done through the years, I guess. So those are my swaps, guys. So we can get on to our project here. Yay. What I am showcasing tonight is something that Stampin' Up! Put out recently, and it's called United Through Creativity. And I'm going to zoom out just a titch here. So United Through Creativity is a free download they're offering to anybody, and like I said, I think it's going to be it's a PDF download for I think they said almost a year. I'll see if I see that on there. If you go to Stampin' Up's website, you'll be able to easily find it there, click on it to download it, and they have a bunch of designs. And the reason or the impetus to this was for let's see, United Through Creativity PDF is for, they had done it for World Diversity Day, and that is already passed, but they're keeping it for longer. And what they're doing is kind of thinking about and showcasing all of the various markets that Stampin' Up! Is in. So like all the countries and some of the different countries, some of their symbols or some of their sayings, that kind of thing. So it's kind of fun. How do they put it there? They said a variety of images and sentiments to represent each of our markets. And then you can create with them, and they have a hashtag United Through Creativity, hashtag Diversity Day exclamation. And so those are images that you can use on cards and that kind of thing, and also sayings. I'm going to show them to you. And they have some coordinating products, how to print it, and that kind of thing. And so I did do that. I obviously, I printed them out, and I'm going to use, I was trying to think, like, what am I going to use these products for? So one thing I decided to do is to make them into some little things that you can just kind of have around the room. You could give it to somebody. Of course, you can make cards with these if you'd like, but I also thought they might be able to be used in other ways. So I am showing you how to make a 3D picture frame kind of a thing, and then these different little, you can think of it as like a layer or a poster or whatever can go in there, and you can keep it in your craft room. You can give it as a gift and that kind of thing. That kind of celebrates different countries' sayings, maybe something that means something to you, your family, or your country, or that kind of thing. So I'm going to show you the samples that I first printed out, and I kind of did look into it a little bit so I would know what some of these were, because I had no idea. So I'm going to show you the different pages, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to make with it. So here's some, I'm going to just kind of go through some of these. They are in the different colors. They do tell you what the different colors are so that you can coordinate your products with it. I did have to look a bunch of this up so I would know what they are, and I don't even know that I did them all, but servus is, I know, Latin for servant, but I think that typically it's used for like to think of serving someone or giving of yourself to someone. So that's kind of just that. Now here, this line, these 3 lines here in the different colors, that's German, and it's Together We Are Stronger. And so I did use this in one of my samples tonight that I'm going to be showing you in a little bit, because my husband's family is German, and so I thought that would be fun to have like a little German saying. And again, it was together we are stronger is what that meant. Then we have the eight. This is kind of like one of the German pages, I think. This is a picture of Edelweiss, and that is a flower, obviously, and was made known in the Sound of Music. The song that was Edelweiss, and it's a German mountain flower, and it's very well known there. It's in the sunflower daisy family, kind of grows in the Alps. So that's what that is. Moin Moin, I didn't get. So if anybody knows that one, let me know. Next page. Some of these are repeated, just using different languages or different colors and that kind of thing. Geez, I don't know how well this shows. The yellow is pretty light. It is when we unite our creative light, we lighten people's hearts. And can you see that very well, guys? Probably not. And then they have it in other languages as well. I really liked that saying. When we unite our creative light, we lighten people's hearts. And that was one where if you had a friend who's a crafter, maybe you could put that on a card. But I thought that it was a nice saying, but I didn't really know how I would use it. So this is one example of, I'm going to show you how we can use it. One of my ways of coming up with it, but other people probably have a lot of other ideas too. I like this one. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. Rumi. So that was cool. We belong together. That was another saying. And now I am not bilingual or anything, so I had to look some of these up. I might be way off. I just tried to do my best. It's not my strong suit. So this one here, these top three, is French for Together Life is Better. I kind of like that one. Together Life is Better. They have this image here that you could put on a card or one of your displays. Go for a drink, I believe, is what I found for this one. Go for a drink, or like have a pint almost, but go for a drink it was. So it's Italian, I believe. I think I showed you this one already. Then they had the same ones. We belong together, and the other in different colors. Then they kind of branch out a little bit to Australian. So here is G'day. And this is an Australian flower called a Waratah flower, Waratah. It's Australian, from New South Wales. It's their state emblem. It has a red flower with some deeper greens to them. So this is kind of Australian. Then U Butte, that's a saying for like British English saying. You're a true blue friend. There you go. That is like being faithful or loyal. That one's a little more familiar, obviously, to us. All right. Next, this is like the Dutch kind of, with the wooden shoes. I thought those are so cute, especially if you know somebody that lives there. Maybe that's their background, their heritage, or maybe they visited, or that kind of thing. So here is Hoi, Hoi, and that is like a modern greeting that's kind of informal, like saying hi or hey. And then here, I'm not going to pronounce it. It means, would you like to have a quick chat, is what I came up with. Schnell in, whatever that is. Oh my goodness, I'm out of my element. And then this, I got to find that one, because what I came up with was on the bike or something like that. Don't mind me for that one. All right, next. What absolutely fabulous news, that was here. And fancy a cuppa. Oh, you want a cup of coffee? That was kind of cute. There are 4 floral images, rose and the shamrock, daffodil, not sure. I got to figure that one out. Chin up, it all comes out in the wash. And to some people, they may go, oh yeah, I know that saying, and I may not know it or whatever. But Kia Ora, I just love the fonts on this page. The Kia Ora is, it's like a relaxed greeting to say hello. And then there's the fern. And then they have good as gold. which we mostly know that one. It's like English, London, compares something to something else. Look at this beautiful Aroa Nui, and that says it's like an indigenous Polynesian, but that one stands for great love, which I think that is really pretty. Great love is a beautiful saying for that one. Some of these, like I said, they may not mean anything to you, but they might to some others, and maybe they'll become something new to, who knows. Here for you through thick and thin. Hang in there. You're the best thing since sliced bread. And then we have a pie, an apple pie. That's pretty American, right? This one I believe is more of a Canadian. They have the maple leaf, of course. True North. Tigadou, I don't know how to say that one for sure. And that is like a Quebec French, which means it's all good. And then, how's it going, eh? How's it going, eh? All right. Oops, this is not that. Then they had an image that has 4 of the same on there. And I'll try to just show you one of them. And it's kind of a collage frame almost of a bunch of those markets all together. So there are, Big Ben, there's things I'm sure I don't even know. Here's a gnome and a platypus, and the eagle I would assume would be the United States, and probably Italy. So there's a bunch of them here that I don't even know them all, but it's just kind of that worldwide theme of coming together and celebrating with all the different areas that we as demonstrators and customers and stampers all can kind of relate to. So what I thought is, how can I use these? So I want to make a little picture frame that I can put these in and put the things in here that's kind of meaningful to me. And you could do the same with whatever is something you're interested in. So I'm going to bring in my supplies. And what I would suggest is I'm going to be using the thick basic white cardstock, and I'm going to be doing a bunch of scoring. So I'm not even going to stamp today. I'm just going to be scoring and folding and burnishing and trimming, and yeah, I think that's most of it. Adhering. How's that? I am just using the white. You can try this with any other color. What I wished I had was some more, there's a pattern play or something like that we have that has wood, a wood look designer series paper. That would be perfect. Because it's going to be kind of like a picture frame. So you'd be able to use whatever color or pattern you would like. I'm just keeping it simple because I kind of like that clean look of a simple white frame. And I'm just grabbing my notes here to make sure I am telling you everything correctly. Now I have, this is a scoreboard that we have, and it makes scoring things quick and easy. If you don't have this, you can just use a ruler with a bone folder or a little scoring tool. You can use, of course, our trimmer would also work because, as you know, we have a scoring blade on that. So you'd be able to put your paper in there, and instead of using that, you'd just use this scoring blade and score at the different dimensions I'm going to be telling you. But to make it quick and easy, I opted for our scoring board. So I haven't used it for a while anyways. You can get a piece of paper or cardstock, the heavier the better. It is 10 inches wide by 8.5 by 8.5 by 10. So take an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock or paper and trim 1 inch off. Okay, and what we're going to do is very simple. We're going to score all 4 sides the same, and we're going to be scoring them at every 1/2 inch up to 2 inches. So I will just get started on that, and we're going to go at a half. This I don't really need. This is just I don't have all of mine, but this is super nice if you want to remember, and you can place little markers here of where you're going to be scoring. And so you could easily do that to help you know where to score. Whoops, I'm just keeping it off so it doesn't get in the way, and I need a little bit firmer or more of a steady surface. There, now it won't rock so much. So we're just going every 1/2 inch. Here is a 1/2 inch. I'm just going to make sure, can you see that? Okay, 1/2 inch and 1 inch, 1 1/2, and 2. And we're just doing the same thing on all 4 sides, every 1/2 inch. So again, a 1/2, 1. Did I even do that one right? Yeah. 1, 1 1/2, and 2. Sometimes the easier something is, the more I can wreck it because I don't pay enough attention. All right. And we have again 1 1/2, 1, 1 1/2, 2. One more side. And we have a 1/2. All right, how easy is that, right? There we go. And now we are going to be trimming and snipping and all that good stuff and burnishing. Now, you're not going to be able to see this very well on camera. Can you, I'm hoping you can kind of see those. Yeah, you can see. They're just scored every 1/2 inch. And in the corner, they kind of have this overlapping edge here, you know, like you make a corner that has all those scores or squares. You can see the squares there. So we're going to be trimming. So if you start with the, let's start with our 8 1/2 side up. Okay, so this is 8 1/2, and I am going to just use my pen to kind of show you what I'm doing here. So we are going to be just trimming. If you, on this horizontal area, I'm not going to actually, I'm going to cut this off. So here and here, here and here. Okay, now there's a score right by those. Okay, you can see that. I'm going to be cutting on that score line. So here's your 8 1/2 side. And I'm going to be cutting in right with my scissors, my paper snips, and I am going to be cutting on the actual score line, not my messy little, squiggles on there. But I just wanted to give you a basic idea of where we were. So start with that, turn it around, and we'll go cut right on that score line up. And we're just cutting up to the last score line. Can you see that? So you're stopping but right at that score. All right. And we're going to stop there. So now you have like this kind of a thing happening. And then what you can do now is if we turn it, we can have, let's see, no, we want to have it this way, right? So it, with your 10-inch side up, I just don't want to make a mistake and like steer you wrong. So if the 10 inches up, we're going to be cutting now. Let's just cut this way. So let's cut off those corners, completely cut them off. So we will go ahead and cut these corners off, like so. A paper trimmer would be great also, but these actual cut lines, they're not going to show. Okay. Now I would probably normally kind of take a little bit more time on that and just make sure I have nice cuts, but it is what it is so far. It's good, and I'm just cutting these parts away. Okay, with those score marks on it. Now we're gonna, let's just fold and burnish a little bit here. And so just go ahead and fold and burnish inward with all of these lines. And this is going to give you a nice crisp edge for everything. And you can kind of use this type of a layout and modify it for other projects. So what you would want to do is make it so you have 1, 2, 3, 4 sections that are even on all 4 sides. And that will give you a way to make a frame on something. And then the area on the inside that's not folded or anything, that is how big your image is going to be. It's actually going to be a little bit smaller than that. But this flat area is more of kind of like your image area, which I'll show a little better in a second here, a little bit. But this is just a nice way to make kind of a little a frame to use as a display. You know, it's not like a tough wooden frame, but it ends up surprisingly sturdy, especially with this nice heavy-duty paper. You can use DSP, just be real careful when you're scoring that you don't score right through it. DSP, sometimes you have to be a little more careful with it so you don't actually score it and rip it. Okay, all right. And I would recommend, if you don't have a bone folder, I would recommend getting one. They're not very expensive, but you just use something that can really use a lot of pressure there. Okay, so you can kind of see where we're going with this, right? So now what we're doing is we are going to leave these edges, these 4 edges, just the way they are. But we are going to change a little bit of these on this longer edge. The more narrow side, we're going to be trimming a little more on those. So the first thing I want to do is we are going to take our, I'm going to get my scoring thing again here. So what we're doing is when I'm going to line it up just along, I'm going to put it up against like a number that I can see on there. So I have it right under the 3. And what I'm going to do is just mark and make sure I have it kind of on a line there. And I want to score in a 1/2 inch, but I only want to go up to this second line there. It's just kind of a general, easy little scoring mark. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going up only to the second line. Okay, and then yeah, I'm just going in 1. Gosh, yeah, it's so confusing, like I'm afraid I'm going to mess it up. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. What you want to do is, you can do this on your paper trimmer also. You're just going in a 1/4 or a 1/2 inch and go up to the second line. And then again over here, can you even see what I'm doing? I'm going in a 1/2 inch, go up to the second line. Okay, I think that's all we need this for. I mean, you can kind of eyeball it too, but I don't know, that can be a little bit more risky. So the next thing we're going to do now is just trim on that little score line that we just made. I'm trying to find my camera here. Can you see that little score line? We're going to just cut up and in on all 4 sides. So I'm going to follow that new score line to the second score line that it stopped at and trim. Do that and trim. Repeat on the other side. Actually, I could just do it quicker probably, just to do these cuts all at once. Why am I mumbling? Sorry, guys. Sometimes I forget I'm even like on camera. I just get into what I'm doing. Okay, so there we did a nice clean cut here. So now you can see the shape. And there's only one more cut to make, and that is diagonal cut so that these corner pieces, this is going to be a diagonal cut, and that is going to show. So you want a nice diagonal. If you want to mark it on there with a pencil, you can. It is going to be showing in the corner of your picture frame. So I'm just going to use my scissors, and I'm going to go from this point to this second score line. You can kind of see where my scissor is. That's what I'm going to be cutting off. Okay, so you're just making a little cut from this corner to that score line, like that. So it's a diagonal. And you're going to repeat that on all four sides. Wherever you stopped, cut up to that score line there. Okay. It sort of feels like you're not, I don't know, it's not directed, or like you're just kind of winging it. So if you're someone who would rather draw and just get it just so and then cut on a line, feel free to do that. I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to just live on the edge. Okay, that's all we got to do for this. Now what we need to do is just glue it together. So what I am going to start with are these long sides first. And what happens is you put adhesive on this side of your project and you kind of roll it over. So this is making, you can kind of see how that's a square. You are adhering this portion down onto your cardstock. And so that's why it makes it kind of a nice sturdier frame, because this is what, a 1/2 inch wide, I guess, and it has all of these layers for the structure. So you are just going to only put adhesive on this edge, and we'll be doing that on these two long edges to start with. You can use liquid adhesive. That worked pretty good. I did do that first. I think I'm going to try it with my seal to start with here. We'll see how that works. You just want to be able to really give it a nice, it needs to be very square and in a nice spot where it's just going to be exactly where you want it, so it'll be nice and square. We're going to really work on getting this square. So you can kind of just tell where it falls into place. And then I do give it a little press, and then I press it back. So I don't know if you caught that, but what I got it into place, and then I pushed it down a little bit so I could kind of rub there, and then I pushed it back and rubbed some more. So then that is getting it right into place, and that's a nice press on that adhesive to get it into place. If you'd rather not do the pushing like that, you can just use the liquid glue, put it into place, and then once it starts to set up, it'll just stay where you have it. So that's another way to do it also. So I am going to do this one next. And we are going to use the seal here. And again, I'm just going to get it, like, it's not so sticky that it makes it grab on the second it touches down, you know, but yet it is pretty good, tough adhesive. So I kind of like that. So I kind of have it into place. I just don't want it to buckle either. So I would just want it to stay right in that spot where it's a nice square. And you can kind of get it where you want it and push down here. But I do like to kind of press it over like that, so I can give it a nice firm press there so that it'll be exactly into place and it won't come off. So here's where we are so far. Okay. And now to make, this is that diagonal cut that we just did, and that's going to be over, here, one second. It goes right over the top to make a nice mitered corner, like so. Sorry, I'll show you here in a second. It makes a nice mitered corner. if you can see it very well, but this diagonal cut goes over the top of the one that didn't have a diagonal cut. And then you put a little bit of adhesive there. It's hard to do it holding it up like this, but I wanted you to kind of see how that goes. Like that. Okay. Nice mitered corner. Really looks really nice once you get it together. It's nice and square and a nice diagonal cut there in the corner. So let's do that next. So I am going to put just a little bit of adhesive right where this is going to be covered over, because I do want it to grab on there. I think, well, I could switch over to liquid, but I think maybe I'll just put a little bit of seal on those corners, just a titch. Oops, I didn't get any on that one. Oops. Okay, my seal is not cooperating. This one a little bit. Or, you know what? A glue dot would be good too. So I've decided, I've changed my mind already. I'm putting a glue dot right on that corner. Okay, you see how that just grabbed right there? It's just right on that corner. That's going to be a good way to grab this paper as it goes over so that it doesn't gap there or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put these glue dots come in on a strip like so, and they just release right off of that wax paper. I'm not getting it to show very well, am I? Okay, they're there. I'm going to put one here in the corner. You just barely want it in the corner though, because you don't want it to show. Come on, stick. I do that one. I just flipped it over, and one more. Okay. Okay, there we go. All four of those inner corners have that adhesive there. And then I'm going to be putting adhesive on this right there. And that's just like before, where this goes down onto that part of the frame base, I guess you'd say. I just don't like adhesive showing or getting on things, because then it can make a mess. Hopefully you can see this okay. And now I'm just kind of getting that to go into place, taking my time so I can get a nice square frame. Woohoo! Kind of giving that a press too, so it'll stay into place. Okay. Now I'll take a little more time in a bit here to kind of burnish and make sure it's got a good contact there from that layer. So you can see we have, that didn't go as well as I wanted here. A little bit of a gap. All right, so now we're going to do the other side, and then that's going to be the frame. And this frame, you'd think it'd look kind of rickety maybe, but it doesn't. It's really kind of a nice, sturdy look to this frame. Okay, so we'll repeat. I'm just tucking that under, getting all of that into place so it's got a nice square corner and miter. Gosh, yeah, I don't know if I'm really thrilled with this corner right here. Probably work on that one a little more. It did kind of give a little bit, and I could move it. So I think, having used the different adhesives, I probably prefer liquid adhesive better. I think I would use that next time, because it's kind of nice. You can move it around a little bit, and then, but once it grabs, and so it stays into place well. And I didn't have as much gapping probably with that. But this works. So it's kind of like a little 3D photo frame, not a photo frame, 3D, it's, what is the word I'm looking for, where it's kind of, you know, it's deeper. So like a memory box frame almost. So there is just a basic frame. And again, you can embellish it. You can put flowers on it. You can do whatever you want. But I'm going to show you what I have made to go into this little frame. Then I can keep it just displayed in my craft area. And I can put different things in it depending on the day or whatever. This would be also a nice thing to give to a friend. You can make something that reminds them of you or whatever. So the first one I made was Here for You Through Thick and Thin. And that would just fit right in there, like so. And then as it falls apart, so, and now I would need to trim this one down a little bit. The other frame that I made, it fit perfectly. So they do kind of vary a little bit. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to work on this corner. It's gonna bug me because I like a nice crisp corner, and I think I'm gonna use liquid adhesive to kind of get that nice and square. But you get the idea. Here for You Through Thick and Thin. So that's one. And then I just would make sure I had something to pull it out with. Other ideas, you could make a flap on the back and stick it in that way. You could maybe cut along the top and put it in that way. But I'm just making sure that the size that I make for the insert is trimmed to fit really nice. Now, they do vary a little, so for your own project, you're just going to want to play around with it and make sure that it fits okay. So here was the first one. I've done like 4 samples, 3 or 4 different ones for ideas. I did color this with blends, and I used my oval punch here and a little ribbon. Just use what you have and try to gussy it up a little bit, as they say. I used the pearls, 2 small and 1 large. Okay, so that would be one little thing that I could display in there. Where's my other one here? Okay. Another one I made was, this is the Edelweiss flower. And I just kind of used, we have these background papers, and I'll show you that in our catalog. We have some papers in our color families, as they say, and every catalog comes out with different patterns, I guess you'd say. So, and all the different color families have these paper packs, and they come like, I have everything stored in like a tin here for this project. I have all of my various cutouts that I can use to make. I just kind of cut them down so that I can use it whenever I want. They're just here, but yet they're not trimmed down, so I can use them however I want on a project and not be stuck with the size that I happen to cut it out with. And I left them undecorated, of course, so that I could grab them. This would even be a, something for work or family gathering kind of a thing. Anyways, our paper packs come with the different paper color families. This is a neutral, for example, and it shows the different paper patterns. So you have the 4 that we have. They're 2 different pieces of paper. They're 2-sided. So there's this kind of plain, what would you call that, like octagon shape. And then this one is kind of just with the lines and dots. And then we have one that's more like a floral. And then on the other side of that is, not going to show itself, kind of this plaid. So you have all of those colors, all of our colors that we have, and all of our color families come in these types of papers. So depending, it's really just nice to have, so you can match whatever you happen to be doing. You'll be able to pull out the different papers that correspond with what you've used in your project. So that's what I was saying for this one. I have just used kind of a real muted background. That's the crumb cake. And I looked it up, and these flowers are white, and then they have this yellow in the center. And they're those Edelweiss. They grow in the mountains in the Alps. So that one I would fit in there as well. And I would need to trim it down a little bit. But you can kind of see how that would look. That'd be it. And the reason I chose the Servus or Servus is when my kids were younger, we always tried to tell them we serve one another in a family. We do things for people in our family, and so that's kind of that whole theory or mindset, I guess, of our family is serving one another. So that's kind of what it reminds me of, and that would go in there. This one is just, I kind of like this one. It was one of the first ones I did. I just kind of colored it with Pool Party. I did a few little color splotches here and there using the pink and the, our new, what is that one again? Pale Papaya. And just use the different beads on there and that kind of thing. And it just has all of those representatives from the different countries and stuff on there. And then that, I kind of like that one because I use that. Probably my favorite saying was, when we unite our creative light, we lighten people's hearts. And it's kind of the heart of what we do a lot of times is, oh, this is going to bug me, just this corner. I have to do something about it. Yeah, liquid adhesive to the rescue. I'm going to grab it. Just so you can see what you would do if, or what I would just, if I just telling you, let's just make it with liquid glue. I think that's a much better way to go. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on here. You can do that, I think. Probably have a bit much. And then I am also going to just put a dab where I have those glue dots because it's not grabbing. And my, the one that I made before this, just to try it out, worked really good with the liquid glue. So I would just suggest that. And it gave a nice, clean look and a nice square picture frame. So it takes a minute or a couple seconds to grab, but it should look better, I hope. But the one that I made before, I have been using it so much and playing with it, I just kind of wrecked it. So it wasn't any good to show anymore. So again, we could put this one in there. And then the last one, oh my goodness, you guys, I'm tempted to show you our sunset. I might have to do that quick here in a second. The last one that I made ahead of time, I did a lot of more coloring and stuff on this one. This is German for Together We Are Stronger. I used the deeper colors and I used our blending brushes and I did a lot of that. I did a masking. So in order to make it so that this couple didn't get, this was white. I started out, this layer here was white cardstock. And it was that printed image that you just print out on your printer. And then so that I could do the background work and sponging and all that, I took a second one and then I covered up my first image here. And you can see that I could do all of my sponging and all my color blending. And then when I would take that off, then they were not covered up. And it just kind of protects that image. So you can do your background techniques and that kind of thing. And I put a couple other little pearls on here. I did use my blends to color them. And then that would just go down in this frame. I kind of like this one too. It would be nice for a young couple or like an anniversary, that kind of thing. So these are the 4 that would slip into there if they were trimmed down. They needed to be trimmed down a little bit to fit better, so I should do one of them so that it'll work. Let's just see. It looks like I need to trim off just a sliver. I'm going to trim it off the bottom, and then the sides are actually a little tight as well. It just really varies from one project to the next. So I'm just going to use my little desktop trimmer, trim a little bit off. I put a little loop on there so that I can pull it out, so that it wouldn't get stuck in there. So that'd be an easier way to pull it out and not have to worry about it. So I am going to trim off a little bit on each edge. I'm determined to show you what it looks like in the frame, because it looks a lot better than just kind of holding it up over that. And I'm going to trim, basically we're trimming the green base layer off, but okay, that should fit. I did use the stitched rectangle dies, and if you have this set, this second largest one seemed to work about right for this project. So if you have that, that's a good way to cut out your image after you've colored it. Okay. Oh, yeah, I didn't use a liquid glue, and I regret that. Okay. All right, so here is Together We Are Stronger. Goodness. All right, that is our project. And these, you can kind of even store them in there, because I did do that. Once I was making them, I started just putting them in my frame and kind of keep going, put them all in there, and it seemed like they would store well in there. So that is how that works. And take more time with your frame to get it nice and square, and use liquid glue. This is what I mean by liquid glue, our multi-purpose Tombow. All right. I'm going to show you our sunset. Okay, hang on, because I'm going to flip this, and it's so pretty. I suppose it won't show. It really isn't showing how gorgeous it is. Oh, yeah, it doesn't pick up the color very much, but it's so pretty out there. Okay, anyways, I'll come back. You can see my messy craft room. All right. I don't know what you thought of that project. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and just keep trying that frame, and you can make it bigger, small, or you can make the sides thicker and deeper and that kind of thing. But just experiment with it, give it a try. Just make all those 4 panels to be the same size all the way around, and then trim it up and see what you can come up with. Feel free to go ahead and show me examples if you make some. I'd love to see them. And I might make a few more myself. So you have a great time. Pitch black in Miami. Miami, oh my gosh, I love Florida. It's this time of year, it's not as crucial, because we can actually be outside compared to winter, when we like to come down and visit you in Miami because it's beautiful. Anyways, take care, have a great week and weekend, and enjoy your summer, and take care. Keep in touch with everyone, your loved ones and friends and family. Until next Thursday, have a great one. Thanks, guys.